Hello, I'm Father Louis Skirty with Friends of the Word. We thank you for joining us on the Weekday Word. The Weekday Word is part of our evangelization online. It is part of the Friends of the Word Incorporated mission, and the whole focus of the mission is breaking open the Word, understanding the Word in our lives. Today, I'm selecting a reading from the Gospel of Matthew. It is a reading that tells us that we have to imitate Jesus in taking care of one another. But I also want to bring in the concept of religious freedom. But let's read the word first. This is from Matthew chapter 10. Jesus said to his apostles, "As you go, make this proclamation. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, drive out demons. Without cost you have received, without cost you are to give. Do not take gold or silver or copper for your belts, no sack for the journey, nor even a second tunic, no sandals or walking stick. The laborer deserves his keep. Whatever town or village you enter, look for a worthy person in it, and stay there until you leave. As you enter a house, wish it peace. If the house is worthy, let your peace come upon it. If not, let your peace return to you. Whoever will not receive you or listen to your words, go outside that house or town and shake the dust from your feet. Amen, I say to you, it will be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah on the day of judgment than for that town." The Gospel of the Lord. That's a tough one. Jesus is sending us out to proclaim the message. Now, he's not only sending priests, he is sending his apostles here. But I think the whole mission of the church is that all of us are sent to bring the good news to one another, to proclaim peace and healing, and to do it out of love and generosity. This takes us into the marketplace, into the world. Sometimes we are challenged when we're out in the world to live our faith. And I think that's one of the main reasons we have to keep Christ as the center of our lives in our faith, bringing Christ's ministry. Now, of course, we have a phenomenal network within the Catholic Church, especially in America, of hospitals and schools and facilities for the elderly and so on that serve the ministry outside the building of the church. We have to be careful of not thinking living the faith and bringing the gospel is only inside the building of the church. We need to be people who can proclaim our faith and live it outside. And that means all aspects of social ministry that require Christian love and Christian energy. Recently, the United States Supreme Court ruled that there was a kind of victory for religious freedom in America. Among the reasons, this is John Kennedy, Justice, among the reasons the United States is so open, so tolerant, and so free is that no person may be restricted or demeaned by government in exercising his or her religion. That's what we're called to do. We in the United States are free. I mean, that's a big step in a direction that sometimes we don't appreciate as Americans. I like to travel. I travel throughout the world, on vacations and educational trips. And some countries, freedom is not as popular as it is here. As freedom is not free in some countries. The restrictions of practicing the faith. And I think it was John Paul II who really, really focused on the necessity for freedom of religion as one of the basic rights of humankind. Freedom of religion, no matter what religious group you're from. And that means not worshiping only in the building of the church, but out in public. So when the United States Supreme Court struck down the federal contraception mandate for nonprofit companies recently, the door began to be opened again, going back to our ancient ancestors, our forefathers, in honoring religious freedom, honoring the fact that as Christians, as Roman Catholics, we are free to exercise our faith and obligated to exercise our faith in the community. in social services, in reaching out to the poor, in healthcare. And that's not how can I say, that's not something that is over and above. This is a mandate from our uniqueness as human beings. This is part of our human dignity. The rulings also affirm that religious freedom belongs to everyone in every area of their life. Did you need the Supreme Court to tell you that? Yes, because there are tides within our country that are trying to restrict religious freedom, restrict where we can practice our faith. And that's not only praying, it's reaching out to the poor, serving the underemployed as well as the unemployed. And we need to do it within the realm of our Christian dignity and mandate. Of course, Christ is the chief teacher. A law professor at the Catholic University of America argued that deciding what does and does not violate a person's beliefs are decisions for religious people, not the government to make. And I thank Dr. Rienzi for that insight, because that was very, very important reminder that we are not given the right to be a religious person, to live out our Christian faith by the government. That right comes from God. It comes from our conscience. And thank God we live in a country that acknowledges the right of religious freedom. No matter what administration is in power, our religious freedom cannot be violated, said George Mason University professor Helen Alvare. And that's important for us to realize, that we are given this gift of religious freedom from God to practice our faith, to be people who reach out to the poor, the community, and reach out to those who are underserved and not served at all. We have a great history of Catholic education and hospital organizations. Some of them are challenged because of finances in so many ways. Okay, so maybe we have to rethink how we're going to live out the mandate of our Christian faith for the poor, for the sick, for education. So let's rethink it, but let's work together, celebrating our faith and our religious freedom that has been given to us by God as dignified human beings. Thank you for joining me with the Word. This has been Father Louis Scurti with Friends of the Word. God bless you.